on, it's safe to say they don't give a damn about what's going on. I mean,
Yeah,
you know, in a crowd
yeah.
or with people they don't know.
People, yeah.
So
we will get to that. The first order of business is the toast.
Oh.
Okay, so we already popped the cherry. So now let's go. We have stimulus glasses and upgrade today because we have grown ass men on the show. So we're gonna go with, we should have had the grown ass man candy.
We should have had the grown. Shout out to Simply Naked Candles and their grown ass man candle that I'm still dreaming of. I went back there and I had to smell it like 10 more times. It was amazing. I wouldn't dare buy it and bring it home though, because that could be a situation. I might not ever. It may be a problem, because what if a grown ass man does come and try to holler and I'm just like, you don't smell like a grown ass man. You're not suede and cashmere.
Like a grown ass.
So I can't even do it.
All right, so she's still detoxing, so she's gonna pretend with her red rock.
Does my skin glow?
It's glow.
Is it glowing?
Yeah.
So it's all worth it,
All
right?
right, so come on, let's go ahead.
Oh, well, I have to. Sorry, I'm behind the curtain.
No, it's fine.
This
It
is gonna.
looks like it.
This
looks
is
like
gonna
it's
hit.
same.
This is gonna hit like it.
That's Red Rocket.
Oh
Red
yeah,
Rocket.
I might even cough on y'all with this.
So since we have the gentlemen here, we're gonna let them honor us. One of them. Tell us your names first, individually.
Yeah.
I'm quite a one big deal.
Quad,
the
Quad, the
big
one,
deal.
the big deal. He said that like one to sing.
It's one word.
It's
like
one
one
word.
Quad,
It's
one, a
one
big
word.
deal. Quad, one, a
One
big
big
deal.
deal.
It's like a tongue twister.
Yeah.
Quad, one, a
Not
big
the big deal, but the one big
deal.
deal.
The one, the big
Okay.
deal. All right, and
I go by OG Just.
Yes.
OG Just.
And did you have something after that? You said just the regular guy, something I saw on one of your.
Pretty much.
You
That's
did.
a lot of people don't know. That's what the OG stands for. Just
Okay.
an ordinary guy.
Ordinary guy. I was like,
Ordinary guy.
okay. See, I did my research. I did.
Okay.
That's
So
okay.
who's gonna Quad, one, the
No, I
one.
like the one big deal, but I like how you guys start off. I like I like those.
What, the chaos or after that?
No.
Actually,
I
all
like
together.
I like your toast come on, go ahead.
You
with
like the toast,
Yes.
okay.
Yes, I
So-
like your toast.
We're gonna say it, don't worry, we're gonna say it.
Okay, cool.
to
But you
peace, prosperity in the pandemic, and to the six-figure salary for
And
our
employees.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
That's
I
a
like
manifestation is what that is. It's gonna happen. It's happening now.
It's happening already.
Yeah, y'all made me feel comfortable.
And there's some new updates that we're going to share in the show that I'm so excited about.
Which solidified already.
Money! So,
Ooh, this is.
this was great. Thank you. We're already going to finish our bottle. We're going to have to go
Goodness.
pop some. We're going to have to pop another cherry somewhere. And I have other cherries to be popped.
How did you manage that? And can I learn off camera how you do that? You'll have to kill me if you tell me.
So now,
Think
tell
you
us
should
a
get the
little
wrong-
bit about your radio station, because I know there's 6 different channels or 6 different
Shows.
shows
Right.
on the station.
Right.
And how long have you guys been doing the show?
Well, we've really been running it for about 3 years now.
Okay.
It started off as it was supposed to be really like a recording studio thing. And a friend of mine, shout out to Kim from Seven Springs Studio.
Hi.
Our engineer as well. And he basically had a podcast going before and then he stopped. But I happened to see the studio and I said, yo man, let's wake it back up. We woke it back up and I went and got I got the license for the radio station and it's been popping ever since. I got about, what we got, like 5, 6. We got 6 shows now. At first it was just our show, including Miss E, which was the Weekend Bullshit Report.
We like that. That sounds very
Yeah.
entertaining.
Well,
That's inviting.
we have a lot of fun on the
Yeah.
show. And then you have Reem and Juice, which is a show that I just started producing maybe about 2 months now. We also have the Mo Show, and I mean so on and so on. Q and Sue, Bando and BP, Raw. They bring the rawness to the station. And other than that, it's a 24-hour station. You know, we play all hip hop, R&B, classic R&B, reggae, calypso, soca. We do everything. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also,
Speaking my language.
and what we also play is a lot of independent artist
Yes.
music. Because a lot of time with these artists, they don't really have a platform.
Right.
You know, it's hard enough right now to try to get views. So what we do, we have them send their music into us. Played on the radio station.
Did you hear that, independent artists? Independent artists that need a platform, DLE Radio is looking for you.
That's right.
They want to showcase your stuff. They have 6 shows to put you on the bullshit report on the weekend.
Right, that's the only one.
Show.
Name
The only
her
one I
right.
remember
Miss
is
E,
the
the
bullshit.
bullshit. The weekend bullshit.
Yeah.
The weekend, but
Bullshit.
look, I'm like the kids, you know, it's something they can curse it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
ooh, that's the name.
He just cursed. We can say it too.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So 3 years you've been on, you went and got the licensing. How hard, now this is here in Atlanta, where is the show housed out of in Atlanta?
It's out in Powder Springs.
Okay.
Right. And it just the first year was kind of complicated. Well, honestly, I'm gonna tell you what, God kind of really just been staring the whole
That's
thing.
the best way for it to
Yeah,
happen.
yeah. Because the first year, or it was like third show in, we get I want to say like a Class B entertainer that just out of nowhere jumps on the radio station and. You know, he brung it from here to there,
Right.
and then from there it's just been going up. I mean, we had some, Jack Thriller,
Jack Thriller was a pretty big
Dathan Thigpen, gospel singer. He won Sunday's Best.
All right.
Yeah.
That's very versatile.
Yeah. We SR Soul is an artist that won I think it's I don't know the show that was on ABC with Puffy and everybody, and it was so he won one of the seasons. I mean, and you guys know Tango from I Love New York.
New York.
Yeah, he's a
What
good
does
friend
Tango
of mine.
do?
So Tango
Now.
won. Oh, what is he doing now?
Yeah.
He's doing
I know,
He's on radio.
Remember that?
Yeah.
What has Tango been up to?
Well, no, he's doing a lot of media now.
Okay.
He's in the radio as well.
We know what's the other one's, not Jennifer Hudson, is it her?
Oh,
that married
one
the other
with
one,
Jennifer
yeah.
Hudson. Yeah, I don't
That was the same show, wasn't it?
same show.
Okay,
What-
I'm like, what is Tango?
Yeah, I think
Where
he was
has
on the
Tango
second. He
been?
was on the
That
second.
dude named Punk is what his name was.
Yeah,
right?
right.
Yeah.
Punk,
Which
that was
is
his
the
name.
biggest dude she
The
called
biggest
Punk.
guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That dude was huge.
Yeah.
He was very soft spoken though.
This is like,
That's okay.
this is a pod studio,
We have-
but we
we
are
have-
prepared.
Too much wine down Wednesday already?
That's
This
okay.
happens
It's
every,
more
this
wine.
happens in the pod studio.
This happened on the last time we were in here with chocolate, so don't worry about it. We're
And
fine.
I
So,
just mocked.
She told me too. She said, "You know, we just got some here before it get too close to the
See,
yeah.
thank you for your
Y'all know my OCD. This is like an omen. But we're gonna
Hey,
get
I just
replacement.
brushed the
Oh,
spoon.
yeah.
You're gonna get the replacement.
Just drink the rest of that for now.
No,
Let's
no,
see
no,
if there's
no.
a well,
We got
Fine,
replacement.
down Wednesday.
Let me tell you what it was. That was God telling me to chill the hell
Stop.
out. Yeah.
Take
that's what
drink
it
some of
was.
this red
Yeah,
rock.
yeah.
I'll go ahead and grab the other one
I'm
just
gonna
in
keep it
case.
Jesus. Shout out to Ken for life.
Some more Red Rock.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's been
You did a good job.
Hey, my mama taught me well.
I'm like, this little spot here is the only, this
Well-
is the second time that happened.
Second time. We
Someone
said
spilled chocolate last time.
Oh my gosh.
It's fine.
Shout out to the
You
chocolate
did
spiller.
it. So that was a
People
lot.
the other way.
And I had to come in here and like disinfect
So that we
the
don't,
mouth.
they ain't paying us, so we can't show them.
Okay. Cat world stop. Cat world.
Okay, so back to
Okay.
reality.
We're talking about punk. Okay.
Tango. We're talking about
and
Tango.
Punk. Okay. And Jennifer. Okay.
Yes.
So
So wait,
what is Tango doing now?
So no, I mean
Tango, you might want to join us because we
Right.
need
No,
some help.
he right now he has his own media company.
Okay.
He's out in Tampa, Florida. Well, yeah, I would say Clearwater, but he's out there doing his thing. I mean, he's doing pretty good for himself.
Good.
Yeah, that's
Big
what
shout
So
out
he
to
came on the show as a
Sunshine
guest?
State.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
I reach out to.
I thought you meant he was on, like he had his own show, but you mean he came as a guest. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So we
That's
get
awesome.
we
You
get
got
guys
some-
coming here and there.
Yeah.
You know, with, majority what we target is really a lot of artists, R&B, hip hop artists, whatever.
Right.
Right.
Gospel.
Yeah, gospel. The deal is we lost our way to communicate with our kids. So I'm an artist myself,
Okay.
and I know how complicated it is to find your way on a radio station next to a Nas or a Jay-Z or somebody like that when you're pushing your music out. You got to go through so many political lanes, right? So I figured with all these artists coming out, the young boys or young ladies coming out with music, I wanted to help them. And not only that, but parents cannot communicate with their kids. What I mean by that is they're saying certain words that we don't know. I do, because I'm in the hip hop game, right? So it's certain words that you can't understand that they're saying around.
Give us some examples.
I mean,
Another world.
it's certain with, like, you know, you might hear popping a lot, right? No, a lot of people don't know popping is a game related word, you know, for a specific game.
You know what word I never knew what it meant? I don't know why. I thought it was op.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was like the opposite of. My son was like, Mom, no. It means opposition. I was like, oh, that's a good like vocabulary word for them to know, even though they did shorten it. But I was like, why do they keep saying op? Like popping is like shoot,
Oh,
right?
like shooting.
No.
Well, I know what it means. Like popping means like lit or like.
Well,
No, he said
to
it's
the
a
gang,
streets, to the
right.
streets. I mean,
Right.
to party goers and
The,
you know,
the culture.
it's like, oh yeah,
To the
I'm
culture,
yeah.
right.
But in the streets, it means something different.
What does it mean?
I mean, it ain't.
You're not allowed to say
the
on
game is to
camera?
be sold, not to be told. Right? And that's not my lane. I can't say. But see, here's the thing. The thing is, so what happened with me is, before this young man passed away, XXXTentacion,
Yes.
I did not care for a lot of his music because I was hearing him just scream and and that's what a lot of the songs are now with the young kids, you know.
But not to cut you off real quick, but that's the disconnect that you have
Yeah,
between
right,
the new
absolutely.
artists and this quote unquote old heads.
Right.
We don't listen to it, so therefore that's why it's a real big.
It is a big
You know what?
It's a
disconnect.
disconnect.
And some of it is
We
pretty
don't listen to
morbid.
it.
When
It
I
is.
hear
You realize
it.
these,
No, it is.
these young guys like XX, God rest his soul, and Juice WRLD,
And
God
Uzi
rest his
Vert.
soul.
And he was
They
talking
have-
about killing themselves.
They have
and
a
suicide.
huge following,
See,
and we don't listen to it.
No, it's
No,
very
it's
true.
It's me. I
It's
don't-
very true.
Yeah. So
Because your kids do listen to it, and the crazy thing about that is that as much as we like to, as all involved parents, say that we have access to them, we don't have access to what they hear. And then even if you have alerts, like I have alerts on my phone, all these different things that I
Right.
have. My son is 12, but he still has a TV. He still has
Okay.
friends' houses. He could use his friend's phone. I mean, and for me, I felt like what made me kind of be realistic more so about it was because I don't want him to be naive to it. And that way, when he's introduced to certain things, he thinks it's so cool and just stupid behind it and very, mesmerizing. Like, oh, well, that's what I'm going to go do. So now I just try to listen to things as well and have conversations with him. Like, that's not true, right? Or that. And even, he just died not that long ago. Not
King
XXS.
Von, King Von.
Juice
Juice
WRLD.
WRLD, yeah.
He was
Him.
talking about a lot of
But he
healing,
also
suicide,
ended up
depression.
ultimately killing himself.
He was telling everybody in
He
his
was.
Right, but I think in that circumstance he didn't mean
He didn't mean
to.
yeah.
He literally was
Trying
doing
to
something
hide.
illegal.
and trying to
Yeah.
hide from the cops.
Yes,
But he
and killed
also, you
himself.
have to be careful with what your mouth speaks. Because you
Right.
can
You can speak it right into
But
existence.
he was definitely depressed.
Right.
And people
But-
close to him talk about how he was depressed.
Well, see, here's the thing. What we don't know is that, we do know because we went through it ourselves when we was younger, dealing with relationships with young
Yeah.
women and men. And they're dealing with it differently because we don't talk to them about sex and stuff too early because we've
don't
become
introduce it to
sensitive
them, yeah.
more than our parents were, because we feel like there's certain things that they're going to learn and we're a little bit more lenient, right?
Right.
So what ended up happening was, being that there's a disconnect between us and our kids, we don't want to hear that. Just like our parents was like, that's crap. We're telling them the same
It's
thing
different, yeah.
instead of trying to hear what they're saying. So what I ended up doing was one day I get in the car and my son is playing a song that actually was dope. And I'm like, yo, who was this? They actually rapping. And it was that kid, XXS.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And this is before he died. It's about a year before he passed away. And now I'm like, okay, let me hear more music from him. Which then had me listen to Uzi, which then had me listen to to Juice WRLD. And now
right.
you can catch certain songs that's on
That
the
shows
album.
their actual talent versus
versus what's
Yeah.
commercial. So I figured, okay, here's a way where we can learn something from them and understand what they're talking about by putting it on the station, right? And also give them some of our music so they can hear what we've done and what we've been saying and where our music comes from. So if they happen to hear majority of their music and then boom, they hear a Biggie song or something, they're like, that's where that came from. Oh, now he rapping, he spitting. I get why me and, my cousin, my older cousin and my older brother can now,
That's good.
Yeah, so that was the purpose.
That's a
And
good
also
collaboration.
to help out with a lot of the artists that's out here in the streets, that can't get
That's
promoted.
great.
Yeah.
Well, that's positive. And there are a lot of artists out here trying to get into the industry that need a platform to showcase their information and their music. And we don't want to wait until they pass,
Right.
until they blow up.
Right.
Nipsey didn't really blow up in my world until he was gone.
Yeah.
And a lot of people weren't so in tune to him until after he
And Pop
passed.
Smoke too. I feel like we heard it like when he
I
passed
like
away.
Pop Smoke.
I did too, but it was only right before he died.
It was
Before that
hard.
we started, like the summer before is when we started to really hear his music mainstream, and then he just, everything. I'm sure he had a lot of accolades and a lot going on, which we learned afterwards, but we didn't know about any of that stuff until he died. Maybe right before Super Bowl, right before that, we heard
He was
it.
killing it. It was
Yeah.
like the stripper star.
Yeah, it was just everywhere.
It was the great part.
But it wasn't far after that we did really.
But I
started
think
to
all
get
rappers,
into
I
stuff.
think all the deep tone, there's like a omen out here for the scratchy voice, like, 50 don't want y'all rule to come out, and then,
Well, that's just
hey,
hate.
that's just hater.
You know.
And then Shine, whatever happened to him, and all
Oh,
the
we
deep-
talk about that. I'm like, they just left Shine to rot, and then
No,
whatever
He
happened
running
to
for political office back in the
Oh,
day.
okay.
I
So
think Shine's
he
good
did
right
get
now.
deported, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then he,
yeah.
okay. Well, he's doing,
He's running for
Oh,
office.
yeah.
yeah, he's in
Belize.
well, that's
Yeah,
good.
where he's from. Yeah.
Big shout out to Shine and
Belize.
Belize.
When we come to Belize, we'll have to
We-
check
we
you
have
out.
to check you
We'll
out.
have a wind down Wednesday and have you on the show. Let's do that.
They want to hear that deep voice.
And if you gotta sing it, you gotta sing the song for us. Just one time. You can do the censored verse, it's fine, but just once.
Just one time. He about to be the president of Belize.
You know what's so funny too? Thinking about what you just said about the kids do think like how we say that their stuff is crap, vice versa. So me and my sister was so hyped because they had the Versus had the other day. Ghostface, oh my god, and Raekwon, right? So I'm in my bed now, like the next morning, like 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm texting my sister from the other room, like, come in here, we're about to have a concert, we're about to do this. She comes in, I put the surround sound on, we are killing it. My son comes in the room, he's like, yo, y'all are the queens of old heads. What is this? And he's mimicking like what they're saying. He's like,
how they act.
what does he have on? Why is he wearing a fur coat?
And as an old nigga, quote unquote,
Yeah.
his fit was fire.
I was like, look at the wires.
Yes,
He
in the New York
had
leather jacket.
underneath the, I was like, first I was like,
That's
here
old,
comes
that's how
Frank
we do.
Lucas.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
he done came here like Frank. But remember, he was gone for like a long time, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, yo, I know he's probably smoking a little bit, and then he's gonna come back with a whole
You already
new,
knew it.
like, he's gonna be like Hugh Hefner on us in a second with the robe.
Yeah.
Head
You know how
to
it
toe,
goes,
white. I wanted to call
Yeah.
it a chinchilla, but I'm pretty
It's a
thinking
real
it wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh, it was, and then he
Yeah.
pulled it off, and he had the white leather Yankee
Oh
fit,
yeah.
the reverse. You have to know the significance.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
The yet it was reversed, right?
yeah.
Oh, I know my shit. I know. I'm from New York. New York.
You got from New York, Queens, Jersey.
So-
Yes.
For everybody that's not from New
Jersey.
York,
Okay.
Oh yeah, we
Jersey.
all from up top.
traditionally the Yankee is navy blue,
Yeah.
primarily.
Like my hat.
And the
Yeah.
thing is,
Yeah.
The
so
white, right?
he had the white jacket with the navy blue.
Reverse.
And then,
Yeah.
to top it all off, just as a little extra, just everything, he had on the Wallabies.
Oh yeah.
The
Look
Clarks,
it
if
up.
that don't scream
Oh yeah, they
90s,
I don't
the
remember
Clarks.
Clarks, Wallabies, if that don't scream
Yes.
90s New York,
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know what does.
But
90s baby.
Yes.
split screen Wallabies,
True.
white and it was
Yeah,
a,
yeah.
and then he stood up. I mean, he danced. It was wonderful.
You know Ghost gonna come out.
I mean, he
You
just.
know Ghost gonna
And he
come out.
saved all the goodies for the last. It was just, it was 2
Best
hours
verse,
though. That
best
was a lot,
verse.
but it was
Uh-huh.
great.
Yeah.
It was great.
Sound like a Patti LaBelle.
So I had to give. I don't know why. I just had to. That just made me
No.
so happy.
Yeah. No, when
It
stuff like
did.
that happen, you have to.
It was monumental.
Yeah, man. You gotta show some love.
I hope you guys saw it. If you didn't, it's on Verse. It's on YouTube right now. Y'all gotta.
Yeah,
That
you
you gotta
look at it
see.
again.
It was
Yeah.
great.
It was great.
But
And then they brought out some of the people that they don't normally, people that you don't really know, like, I won't say that you won't really know. Unless you're a true Wu fan,
yeah.
you wouldn't know who these people
Yeah.
were. So, of course, everybody knows RZA. Like, he
Right.
came out, he was fresh
Of course.
from head, he had his little fit on. And then they brought out Who You Got and Inspector Deck, yeah,
Deck,
and a couple of other, but it was really great. I don't know why Method Man didn't come. I felt like he should have just popped up. I know
was
they're
in the
about to
comments,
have
though.
him. Yeah, I saw him in the
They didn't
comments.
invite him.
But he should have. No, they didn't know any of them were coming. They all just popped
didn't
up.
invite him.
Well, Method Man's he was on a couple weeks ago
Yeah.
on the D'Angelo and Family
Mhm.
Friends, I think it was, or whatever it
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
And he's gonna be on versus
That was
him
dope,
and
too.
Redman in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So maybe he just
Yeah.
didn't want to overkill.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah,
did
Red
need you
going
to
back
come
and
in and
forth.
do a little raspy voice a little bit for us. we could have used that, but that's fine. You can't take away from their shine, so that was fine.
Yeah, it was dope though.
It was
dope.
awesome.
I appreciated it.
So I said all that to say that my son was like, "Y'all is the queens of old heads," and then he sat there for like 15 minutes and was mesmerized himself.
Because the old music still
It was
It's
yeah.
still
Old music is what transformed to the music that we have today.
Right.
You have to pay homage to those who came before
You do.
I think that's what the disconnect comes between the new generation and our generation of music. The new kids, they don't like what we used to put out, so they want to put out something new. But how could you?
Or remake the songs we used to have
Yeah.
in
Exactly.
a different, because Pop Smoke, a lot of his songs are just old
Old
songs
beats,
that,
100%.
yeah, and they
Yeah.
sound a little different, but we know, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
they all do that, to be honest with you.
One person that we have to acknowledge that does it a lot, and he's been a year after year, you always find a way to update a song from the 90s is French Montana.
Yeah,
always
that's
bringing
true.
some tracks from back then.
He doesn't get a lot of
update
credit
them.
either.
He doesn't. He doesn't. And-
I think
and
he's
he
pretty
should.
fly.
Yeah.
He doesn't
He
get a
is.
lot of credit.
Yeah, I mess with French.
I mess with
Yeah.
French.
Good
So
dude.
yeah.
Good dude.
I think he's a good dude. I like French Montana. I don't hear a lot of trash talk. Now there are some other people in our hot topics that we carry
Oh
on.
yeah, there's some
That is some trash talking. We
Right.
can talk about some trash.
Right.
But so where do you see the station headed now? What platforms are you on as far as are you on like Roku? Where are you digitally playing? iHeartRadio?
Yeah, all the social platforms. What's happening now is I've created. Well, I started about 2 weeks ago. I have about 9 other radio stations, internet stations that are joining me to do a network for artists. So
Okay.
for all the artists that instead of going through DJs and paying to be on a record pool, you go through a radio station. And your song get played throughout the radio station.
So you cutting out the middleman.
Yeah, basically. Well, not really, because we'll have DJs and everything. It's just that we want to get away from the political thing, and bring it more back to if you got good talent or not. One of the things is finding a way to get more good music on radio. I'm tired of hearing the same thing over and over. It's not because there's no music out there, it's because they're not looking for it. And the way that the sound scan pick it up is something we don't know about. So I figured, you know what if we get a bunch of internet stations? All right, put it like this. I keep telling people this, nobody won't believe me. That song from Sanoa, that I want you around. Nobody knows this song when I sing this thing. Around. Y'all never heard the song? Sanoa Allegra,
Does
something like that?
anybody
Do we need to ask
What
Alexa?
song is that?
Yeah, so it's
Do you know? Well, you got it.
I'll put y'all on it later.
It's
you
called
know?
Sanoa.
Yeah.
That's the artist.
That's
Yes,
the artist. Is
yes.
it female?
Female.
Is it an R&B
R&B
song?
singer.
Can we listen to a little bit of
Yes,
it?
if you can, yeah.
Is she on Alexa?
Mm-hmm. Alexa, play Sanoa, I Want You Around. Let's see if she do it. She probably let me look for it.
It's like I'm thinking.
Yeah, she was.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Maybe I should say Sanoa Allegra or something like that.
Let's
Yeah,
see
put it
if
on your
you
phone.
Let me play it on my phone real quick.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what. So while I look for it, about a year prior to the song actually being out, what I had did was I had found. I basically
I'm
found
all
that
on your
song.
phone.
It's okay. I found that song on YouTube somewhere, and I just started playing it. And once I started playing it on my station, for some reason, I say about a year after, it just started popping off on terrestrial radio. So I'm like, okay, something gotta be, what do you call it? Hold on, so
This is the news. You didn't share that with me.
I know y'all heard this song.
Oh, I like that song.
I never knew who it was.
I
I
like
thought this
It's
song.
a Gab Tub song.
I thought
like
this was her.
Yeah.
I thought it was her.
No, that's
okay.
Sonoa Lake.
Okay, I like
So
that song.
She has a her vibe though.
It
Yeah,
does. I heard it a
But-
couple of times, but I didn't know. Okay.
Now her whole album is dope. Now I kid you not, about a year before it hit terrestrial radio, I had it on my station. And it played more than enough to the point where I got tired of it before everybody caught on to it. So I figured, okay, it had to be a reason.
Can you put that in the group chat before I forget to tell you this?
Yeah, no, I got
The
you.
name of it so
I
that
got
we
you.
can add it to.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Because I've
So-
been trying to figure that
I
out.
definitely
Oh, no,
listen to that song.
oh,
because
yeah.
every time
Oh,
I
yeah.
take a bath and manifest with that
Oh,
thing in the bath. I know exactly.
Yeah, listen, if you and once I put it in there, check her whole album out. Her
Okay.
whole album. Dope.
She does sound like her.
That's
or
what I
maybe
thought that
Ella
was.
Mai.
Well, I would say more.
Or
of-
LMA, yeah.
I would say more.
Because I think that song comes up when I
thought
do
it might have been
LMA
her.
radio.
We heard that when we was at the candle shop. Remember it came on
Yeah,
after?
it's very
Yeah.
sultry.
Yeah.
It might even come on with Jill Scott.
Yeah. I mean, it's in no, but it's
Or
in
Summer
that.
Walker, it's all in that
Yeah.
same.
Summer
it's
Walker,
in
it's all in that
yeah, that
same,
same realm.
Y'all don't know why.
She always hate when I say
Jill.
Jill
Because
Scott.
for 20 years,
My
she
NPR.
She must don't know about that crime.
No, I love
She don't know. She don't know.
love. I have
About
no
that
problem
steady
with
love.
it.
She
I
don't
have
know
no
about
problem with it. Just sometimes I'm in the mood for something else.
I
That's
got
all.
you. Nah, I got you.
That's all.
She want to listen to Miguel.
She hates
Oh,
Miguel
damn
Radio.
it. Oh,
Is
damn it.
Miguel Radio not the shit?
I like
It's great,
Miguel.
right?
Miguel is fine, but sometimes
fire.
that station might go.
It goes left a lot, which is the reason I love it so
Yeah.
much.
It slows you down. That Miguel radio.
It does, but sometimes
That's
it just
not
be
what you're looking
random
for.
and you're like, ooh, okay. After Skywalker comes on, it can go either way.
But that's the other thing. So what I've done with the station as well is I wanted to change how late night R&B music is played.
So no more quiet
So
storm?
what's the late night?
No.
What you how you
It's
want late
it's
night?
What
Quiet
is it
Storm,
called?
but on
Oh,
on
okay.
steroids.
Oh, steroids.
yeah,
So what's
it's-
getting ready to happen?
So this is called the Love Scene. My Quiet Storm. is
Do you
called
have
the
the
Love Scene.
ocean sound?
No,
What
but
do
I
you
have. Well, this is how
What
it
do you
goes.
have?
So instead of hearing a Luther Vandross song, right?
Okay.
And right after that you hear Khalees, I Hate You So Much.
Oh, okay.
It's like it
You
throw your
make
vibe
it
off.
steady. Okay.
It could be Khalees. I freak my milkshake brings
Yeah,
me.
Yeah,
but
but you go
But it's
from
on a different beat.
tempo,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So what I did was
Wait,
I
when
let
did the
them
Quiet
all.
Storm start doing that?
No, they always done that. If
No.
you listen to the Quiet
I used to
Storm,
listen to it to go to sleep.
you know.
I don't remember Khalees.
No, you know. I guarantee you, if you listen to any Quiet Storm, you'll hear one song talking about whether they had a heartbreak, and then the other song will be talking about how much they love something.
Then I bust the windows out your car.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
Okay.
instead of that,
So it's a response
Sullivan, Jazz
to the situation.
Yeah, but instead
Okay.
of that, what I do is I
Now
can't
y'all
believe
know
that's
y'all
happening.
gotta have your phone on
Mine is
silent, don't
definitely
you?
on silent. That's an alarm. So
Oh, that's
yeah,
your
I don't
phone.
know why it went off.
That shit quiet storm
Yeah, it's
alarm?
coming. It's coming. So what I've done was I say, you know what? If the vibe is about getting to know somebody, that's the vibe. If the vibe is about loving somebody, that's
So you're
the vibe.
setting a scene.
That's
If the
it.
vibe
You're
is
The
about-
setting a scene.
So what?
love scene.
So what's the single ladies quiet storm gonna be? What's
You're
on
gonna
that?
hear a
thing?
lot of
I
Beyonce.
bust
Beyonce.
And she ain't even a single woman, you know?
I ain't
That's
sorry.
a whole nother
We
topic.
gonna-
I ain't sorry.
Exactly.
Nigga, nah.
A whole nother topic.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm doing things to bring radio back, bring R&B back, stuff like that. I just want I want good music, you know.
Okay.
We do.
So that's
I
your
agree
goal.
with you. I want
Yeah.
them because I don't like all that. I don't like erratic. Erratic behavior really. It just I like consistent.
Yeah.
So I don't like erratic music at all because I'm just like I'm trying to chill out. Either I want to pray or
I wanna know what we're
I want to
doing
know what we
Yeah,
doing.
yeah.
the whole time.
Yeah.
Baby,
Don't
they
give me no
praying.
surprises.
I'm sure I'm not the only one that been in a situation where you're getting in the mood and then boom, the wrong song come on and now it just mess up the mood.
Yeah, I be like, it's party princess time.
Yeah.
Let's go.
My own thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you pick your own
It's
playlist.
nonsense.
See what I'm saying? So instead of you having to go through the work, I create your playlist for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's interesting. That's interesting.
So how often does the quiet, is it every night the
Every
quiet
night,
storm
8
is on?
p.m.
Starts at 8.
8 p.m.
And how long is this on?
It's damn near 2 hours.
Okay. So you can
So
start
ordinary
from-
guy, what you want to say? Because you just over there
Just
just
so-
No,
co-signing.
because when I listen to the man and he talk about the radio station, he really has it down pat. He
Okay.
really
Yeah.
does. Yeah.
He's been like so supportive, man. Like the way I met OG was through another friend of ours.
Yeah, shout out to my man, Dave.
Dave G. Shout out to Dave G.
Hi, Dave.
And he was like, yo, my man, this and that, la la la. And me and him hooked up, and it's been my brother since. And it's like, you know, he supports me a lot.
So you're both from New York?
He's from New York.
Where are you from?
Jersey.
Thank
Jersey.
you.
Oh, look at that, the Jersey side.
Jersey, New York side.
So how did you, shout out to Artie, how did you become friends with, so we have a story about this, right?
Oh, yeah.
So a mutual, he's my brother, really.
Yeah.
But friend of ours has been trying to get us to link for, I don't even know how. We gotta meet, you gotta do this and that. So we finally, after all this time, so thank you, Arthur.
Yeah, shout out to Art.
We know you're here,
Yes,
peeking,
sir.
sending people DMs, I know you're there. He sends articles, and he did send us some articles to
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about. Did he send them to you as well?
Nah, I'm probably, he know how I am.
I don't know if he was specifically sending them for the show, or he just wanted me to really know what was going out in these streets.
What did he say?
Some things we're gonna discuss later on. But yeah, so how did you guys meet?
Me and Art
Here?
met working, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Me
Okay.
and him ended up working at the same company,
Okay.
Low Voltage Electrical. So,
Okay. Shout out to Low
that's been my
Voltage.
boy, yeah. That's been my boy since
Electrical.
then. Yeah.
Do you know him too?
I don't think
No.
I don't
No.
think, nah.
Okay. Well, you'll probably meet him.
Yeah, oh,
Now
yeah.
you got him.
Yeah, he's gonna meet. He's gonna meet him because we got a lot of
You
events. Yeah.
Yes.
Art's my guy.
We shouted you out on.
Yes,
You're
you
officially a
are.
part of Wind Down Wednesday. Real talk, no Jason.
Word.
So now, speaking of artists, let's go into our hot topics.
Yes.
So one of the most trending hot topics that we have going on right now
Yes.
is Quavo and Sweetie.
Yeah.
Or Swatty, Sweetie.
So we.
So
we.
we. All right, so we're gonna listen to your male perspective on the whole thing that's going on.
Well,
with
do
Quavo
people
and
know what's going on? We don't know.
Well,
Do
let's-
people know what's going on? So basically, we'll just tell them what a rundown. So apparently, there was a public breakup. She broke up with Quavo on Instagram or
Instagram,
Twitter or
Twitter.
whatever it was, which is, I guess, the way you do it now.
She called him out for cheating.
Right,
Mhm.
and told his business. So apparently, he
I don't
wasn't
think she
happy
really
about that.
told
Well, she
his
said he
business.
cheated. That's
She just
telling
said
business.
he cheated and she's tired of the
Infidelity, and she was
disrespect.
very respectful
And it
when
was
she said it, and
respectful.
she just said
And that's
that's
it.
something that she didn't sign up for, and she doesn't want to
And
stick
he
around
said
for
something
it.
back, and it was still
He said
a
something back,
respectful.
right? You're not the person that
dialogue.
I thought you were, is what he said.
All right.
Now that's a private conversation, I feel, but
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you're not the person I thought you were for going out.
I mean the whole
publicly and saying
conversation
it.
I feel like
It
should
was
have
a
been
whole
handled
conversation.
privately.
But she feels that he cheated on her in public, so he wasn't the person that she thought he was publicly. So it's, all the
I blame her
breakups
for
are
that.
public.
I blame Sweetie for that, to be honest.
You
You
do.
tell us.
Yeah, because first of all, she.
Why are you laughing?
Oh my God.
He like,
And this is what happens. And this is what happens on the daily radio. We have these discussions about
perfect,
things.
let's do this.
And I guess they just, I don't think they like my point of view.
No. Shout out to Miss E.
Now
Every
OG
is
is
fine.
talking.
He woke up.
Yeah.
OG is awake.
Let him have the, we will not
Yeah.
say a word.
Right.
Go.
Yeah. No,
You time.
I believe this, so I blame Sweetie for that. First
Okay.
of all, if Quavo was cheating, who knew that other than her? And maybe the women he was cheating with. Publicly, it wasn't out there that he was cheating with
Yet.
somebody else, maybe yet. I feel like she should
Well,
have said
she
anything.
found out a certain way. Something had to have happened. Unless she walked in on them, somebody else.
No,
had to
she
know.
said it was public. I think he was out and they saw him somewhere and it's
But
whatever.
I feel like who knew that? Like where the receipts at to to where this happened?
So I
You know
think
what I mean?
what, so I
I
I
feel sorry for
understand
Quavo
what
to
you're
be out
saying.
there.
Yeah.
I understand that
That's
part,
not
but
Quavo.
now with
You
the
feel
other-
sorry for
Yeah, I
him?
do feel sorry.
You
for
want
him. I really
to
do.
extend your sympathy to a cheater.
That's what I'm
You know, what is that? An
To a
alleged
cheater.
sweet cheater.
Being
He
somebody
didn't
like
deny.
being one of them
No,
entertainers
never.
like that, he's probably faced with a whole lot of temptation all the time. And he gave in temptation once or maybe 2 times. I feel like he should have been forgiven.
Okay, so
running
but
away
did
from
she-
that.
Devil's advocate.
Yes.
Yeah.
So do you feel? So then you are in support of Will forgiving Jada?
No.
So that's a different situation.
It's a double standard. It's already a double standard.
What is the deciding factor against you being
Because when
in
it
favor?
comes to men and women, there's just
So a woman
set
can't
double
cheat,
standard. Of course not.
but a man can.
So
So that's
the
the
woman
difference.
is supposed. Okay. This is gonna be another.
I
show.
love
Not
this
today.
show.
This is why that's OG just.
Okay,
Oh,
so wait,
shit.
let's
Real.
take it back. Let's take it back for 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now
So-
we gotta adjust our
So you,
seats.
so you said, okay, so you don't feel bad
I feel
for,
bad for
or you feel bad for
I
him,
do.
because he was publicly shamed for cheating?
Yes.
Okay.
Because
But it's acceptable for men to cheat, but it's not acceptable for women to cheat. I just want to play.
Now the other, okay, so here, now that we confirmed that, the other question is,
100%.
so do you not feel any type of, we won't say sympathy because she seems to be handling okay, empathy or any type of anything for her because that wasn't the relationship, or do you feel like because they're in that industry, she should have expected him to cheat and she
100%.
should have and just been okay with it,
I'm gonna tell
no
you
matter
why.
what?
A couple of weeks ago, I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch that. Tyrese's ex-wife, she spoke publicly about, it's different being with the entertainer because the entertainer, they have access to all of these different women. So as a woman dealing with entertainment, you have to expect that. And if you're not strong enough to deal with that, then leave the man. But don't bash him with something that could be expected. She couldn't have gone into that situation thinking, oh, this man's gonna
And
be
she's his current
100%.
girlfriend or his ex.
That's the ex-wife.
That's the ex.
That's
I
the
was
ex-wife.
like, they're not married. Let's be clear that they're not
They're
together.
not married. She said she couldn't deal with that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I feel like if a woman gets into a situation with that entertainer like that, you have to expect
So
it.
why shouldn't a man feel the same way if he gets in a situation
Because-
with an entertainer as a female?
Women are held to a higher standard. Women are not supposed to cheat. I mean,
So this is a discussion we have often. We had it this
Women-
morning, as a
women
matter of
shouldn't
fact.
cheat.
We're gonna have a whole
Women
show
shouldn't
with you
cheat.
guys with
Now,
this,
where do you
with this
come?
very discussion.
All right, that's New York.
I'm
Yeah.
so glad. This is so
See,
great.
he different. bro.
God,
So-
one.
So what is it?
So,
Well, he was happy that he
Let's
was
go
on your
ahead.
team. He was like,
Well,
yes,
well,
this
so
is
it's
my
not-
guy right here.
you gotta understand.
I'm gonna tell you
Take
real
it to the
quick,
street.
real quick with the dynamic of the show. right?
Okay.
I'm on this side of the spectrum.
Yes.
Miss E is on that side of the spectrum. K
He's
tries to
neutral.
waver right here in the middle.
Okay.
Not trying to waver one way because he don't want to upset me or Miss E when we talk
Oh.
about these
Well,
things.
it's more so because I understand both sides.
Right.
Because I get what he's saying.
Understood,
But
yeah.
then, because see, I try to play the advocate for both of them. So like what
What's
he
your
was.
sign?
I'm a Gemini.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's why
Don't-
he got
don't-
the That makes him flippy floppy right there.
Don't
Don't
do me.
me.
So
And your sign is?
He's a Virgo.
Okay, that's not.
Okay, well I get the strong. I get it now. You. That is what you believe.
That's
Right?
100%.
That's it.
Yeah.
Ain't no
That's it,
wavering.
unequivocally.
Ain't no wavering from that.
No
That boy
wavering.
don't change.
All right.
No.
So go ahead
That's
now.
him.
Okay,
No, so
Flippy.
for me, I feel like
Flippy, she called it Flippy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Flippy.
Yeah, no, it's just I know what he's saying, like, and it makes sense. Like, for instance, if this didn't have to go public, if she would have kept that to them themselves.
I can agree with that personally.
And
I
so-
feel like certain things should be, and yes, maybe that's why I said what I said. I feel like that could have been handled in a different way.
Right.
If it came out and you wanted to say something about it later on, then for me, then that
Right.
makes sense. But my standard is, tell me the shit at home. Don't
Right.
wait until we get
Don't tell me.
Right.
I don't want the
and
streets
then
to
tell me what we
nothing
got
you
going
can tell
on.
me.
You tell me the shit in the
Right.
car before we get
And
there.
that's-
Nothing in the street should tell me
Yeah.
that you couldn't tell me the
Exactly.
shit.
And see, that's the part.
So
that
I understand that part. of it.
That's what I agree.
I
with
agree
him
with
on.
you on that.
But with the women not supposed to, well, if the women cheat, it's not this, like it's a
Do you
different
forgive
thing.
Jada?
No.
No.
Why not?
No. Because for instance,
Virgo.
because when have we heard Will stepping out on Jada?
Well, they not her.
Yeah, an open relationship for a reason, right?
No, but if they had an
Well,
open
if they're in an
relationship,
open
that's
relationship,
different.
there's nobody's cheating, right?
Man,
They're allowed
Because
to
it
cheat.
hurts differently when a woman cheats compared to when a man cheats.
But why is
Women,
that?
y'all are stronger than we are.
Well, we know that.
Exactly. That's
But,
exactly why.
however,
Exactly why.
so okay, I'm really glad you said that.
Mhm.
So with us being as strong as we are, and us putting in everything that we put into a situation and what's expected of us, when does it become a man's duty to pour that back into us? Or is it a man's duty to do that? Or should we just figure all the shit out ourselves and then just kind of roll whatever punches they want to, and we gotta forgive them, but if we do the same thing, we absolutely cannot be forgiven because we're women and we should be holding that cookie tight,
And taking care of everything and being
snapping back,
and
breastfeeding the
being a
baby, coming home,
supporter,
feeling
and working
pretty,
and
even when you don't notice
and
that we're
being
pretty.
equal. But I understand your old school mentality.
I get it.
But where's the old school energy that women bring the same amount of?
'Cause do you
bring
feel
in
like
the
that-
bedroom?
those
Is
men-
that old school mentality was the man was the provider.
But
Right. And he might have been a pimp too.
He
on
might
the
have been
low,
a pimp, but he was
but
providing.
you wasn't looking for nothing.
But our women
Papa
right now.
was a Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
Wherever he laid his hat was his home.
Okay.
Right, but Papa was paying the
However,
bills.
Papa
he was
had-
rolling along.
Had a good job down at the mill. He was in the union. He had medical benefits.
It was benefits.
I
Worked
wasn't
16
out
hours a
here.
day.
16 hours a day. He came home. He got the big piece of chicken.
Mm-hmm.
He made sure my car had
But
whatever I had to
was
do.
his plate fixed first?
His plate
His
was in the
plate was
oven. It was
fixed.
waiting.
It was
He got
waiting.
a piece of
Traditionally,
chicken.
that way of thinking, I think, is still what God's relationship views
Right.
to this day.
Right.
That's why I say, like, women, I think, are held to a higher standard than men.
I don't
think
think
so.
that.
I
wouldn't
agree that
say-
women are held to
Right.
it. I agree that they are. I don't know if they, I don't agree that it's fair, but I agree that women are held to a higher standard. in
But we're
society
also
than
held
men.
to a high. But we also still have to come home now to this standard
I
that
don't
we
agree
have
that it's
today.
correct. I agree that.
Right,
that
no, but what
is
I'm saying about the
fact.
standard in general, and
Mhm.
because you said that that's the guideline of the standard that we are held to today. So for me, I feel like that statement is a little off only because most women, and especially if they have children, married or not married, have full-time jobs, careers, and they are paying 50% of the bills, and some of them in certain states
Or
primarily
or
are
all.
paying most of them.
Or-
And they're still upholding that same standard of doing all those things, and your husband is not out 16 hours a day anymore. He's at, I was gonna say at the strip club. I mean, you do what you wanna do, it doesn't matter to me. But there has to be some type of leeway for the lifestyles that we live now versus the lifestyles when Papa
Let me
was
ask
a
y'all a
Rolling
question,
Stone.
right? Do y'all believe that there's traditional gender roles in relationships, or do you think those views and values are gone?
No, I
I think
believe
it
there's
believes
a
in
traditional.
circumstantial
I
for
do. We had a conversation
It's
in a
circumstantial.
relationship
Yeah,
show
we have
before,
too, yeah.
and I had that. We had a. You can
Right.
look back. So
For
I'm
you,
a very
yes.
traditional
Right.
mindset woman. However, in this non-traditional ass dating environment,
Right,
because
right.
this out here ain't traditional. I'm very traditional. I'm very domesticated, cook, clean, and I
Right.
work. I bring home a pretty great amount of bacon, and I put in the pan, and I
Absolutely.
support and help people get.
But
their
does
bacon.
everybody
That's
deserve
too-
that?
that's-
So
For me, everybody doesn't deserve that. I feel like
and I don't feel
everybody's
like
not
it.
worthy. Now I can
And
get
I
out
don't
there,
feel like
I
I
can do all
get
those
that same
things, but
energy
everybody
back.
ain't gonna
So
get
it-
that.
but I am very traditional.
So here's the deal. One thing that he's and it goes right back to look because this I'm a
Please
hold
don't
my
make me
point
get
down.
Red Rock through my
Don't
nose.
do it. Don't do it.
Just
Don't do it.
give me a
Hold on,
second,
hold on.
because it was
Here's the
headed
deal.
up there.
Look,
When
my
you say
arm's
women
so
are
bad.
held to a higher standard than men, it's absolutely true. When we was younger,
Yes,
we grew up in households without our fathers.
I did, but yes.
But
Some people-
even then, right? If you did, your father
My
wasn't
dad was
looked
that
at
word.
like your mom's was looked at in the household.
Correct,
Right.
in a lot of households.
Right?
Mhm.
So, with everything, Valentine's Day, everything, women are held to a higher standard. So, when it comes down to, especially now with this traditional thing, women are making way more money than men are right now. We are having a hard time out here because not only are we battling the outside field, we gotta come home and battle our woman in the household.
I feel that way.
Right, in
It's-
certain
it's-
households,
I feel that.
hence what I said before about a woman's role, and especially as a black woman or being with a black man. Because, and I have a son who I'm raising to be a man as well. So I know that because of the challenges that specifically a black man faces out in the world, that I may not have to deal with because I am a black woman, and there may be some other opportunities, which we have our own stigmas
We
as
have
well.
Of course.
We
And
definitely
have for
do,
years.
and we don't get paid as much as a male in
still
our
don't- we gotta
particular
still work.
It's the same
job.
field.
We still gotta
Exactly.
work
So
double
we
time.
we have to do those things in order to
Depends.
most majority of the time.
Okay.
We'll say that it can happen.
Because-
Some
because-
women can get paid less
Because
than in certain fields.
listen, y'all can throw it on, come in, and if your boss got the hots for you, the eyes for you.
But then
But
that's
who
using
wants
what
to
you got
deal
to
with
get
that?
what you want.
Right, and
That
that's an
is-
uncomfortable
and that's why
situation, yes.
Cuomo and all these other people get sued, because then you gotta be like, basically
Right.
like sexually appealing, or it's
Right.
not about business, it's not about
And
accolades,
truthfully,
it's
you
about
don't know how much your male counterparts are actually making. So I feel like we really don't know that. But traditionally, studies have shown that men make more overall than women do in certain
In the
and
same
and especially Caucasian men. We know that already. That's
And
all
they don't
top.
have to come to work and
They
wear
get
the
jobs
dress
before
and
us.
wear the
Yeah,
heels
look good,
and
cook breakfast,
you
all
don't
these
gotta-
things that we have to do.
Now I do this shit for myself, not for y'all, just to clarify.
Right.
But,
But the point that I was making about that
Y'all
whole
don't have to do it.
situation
Right.
was that, so now back to what I said before. So we're going out here, we have to be strong because we're out here and we're doing all these things, the same things that you're out here doing. Now, yes, you do have a lot of things that may happen or more obstacles. You know, you might get pulled over by the police and you might be, you know, you might have a lot more challenges or have some more worries. Plus, you are the man of the
pulled
home.
over by the police
We know.
and killed in jail.
Yes, right.
We got Breonna Taylor that was protecting
Right,
her
things
man
happen
and
to
the dog
both.
got kicked in and they killed
But
her.
we also
Yeah.
come home and we have to be that nurturing. Now, we done went out there and battled the beast just like y'all have. Now, you come home, we have your dinner, we do whatever arrangement we have as far as what we're doing. We also have to spiritually, mentally, and emotionally pour everything left from us into you and
And
our
the kids.
children.
Yeah.
But that's what women are built for.
Okay,
I mean,
and that's
y'all-
fine.
y'all-
I do agree we built
But
that, but
women
where is the
also-
man is supposed to be the protector, the leader,
Right. You
the
supposed to feel
coverer,
safe
the
with
provider.
them. Right.
So that's not what that's the other part.
That's
missing.
that's the traditional part of
We
it.
spoke
We're
about
in
this
tradition,
before.
right.
We spoke about this
Right.
before, and this is my
But the
opinion.
other, so let me just finish my point.
Yeah,
Okay,
before.
so now we've done all of that, right?
She mad.
No, I'm
She
very
catch-
passionate about it.
yeah.
Because I've been told by somebody that I was dating that I was too strong. Now, mind you,
Are y'all listening?
oh, he was
Yeah, that's
dead
definitely-
serious.
That's definitely a problem.
And I don't want to lay next to a man at night.
What?
So my response to that was, I'm depleted, and in order for me to feel vulnerable and to be able to feel as though I can be a little bit softer in the situation
I have
that
to
we
feel safe.
have, I need to feel protected,
Mhm.
safe,
Comfortable.
comfortable,
Mhm.
and that I can be that way. And if you're not pouring back into me because you spent everything out there fighting and doing all those, and you bring that same stuff back into the house, it's not going to be a good environment for anybody.
My question is,
Yes.
are women today, are y'all too, and not saying you per se,
Right.
are women too independent now to allow a man to lead?
Right.
Because I feel
I
like,
guess it's circumstantial
I really
as well,
feel
yeah.
like a lot of that is coming, that's why you have so
Right.
many more successful women who may be
Right.
single because they can't find a man who can bring to the table at least what they can.
What they
Do
or
you
what they
feel-
feel is
I don't know
equal
if
to
that's, I think that could be a possibility in certain
I
situations.
think all
100%, but I feel like most women have the ability to be able to tap into that side of them if they are in an environment or in a partnership, because that's key for me. I need to be in a partnership with you. If it's one-sided in any way or in all of those ways, and I'm spilled, like you said, with cooking and all these are things I'm doing on a regular basis. I'm a very domestic person. However, everybody doesn't deserve that because if you're not, there's got to be some contribution on your part.
Well,
some
I
type
also
of
feel that naturally, a woman naturally, just by nature, just scientific nature,
Right.
will follow. Will follow
Right.
someone that can
But
lead.
where we
But
were
if
going-
the man is leading correctly, it's just a natural submission. It's not going to be that. But when the man, this is where it comes in, and there are some women that are too independent. And
Absolutely.
you got too much.
It's not
You got
yeah.
too much gun ho. It's
Yes.
too much.
Or I don't need a
fuckery
man and all
out
that
here.
stuff. I mean, I
And you got-
understand that.
And then you got society
Right.
saying, oh, but you're supposed to accept that he cheats and you're supposed to accept this. So it's so much misguided things, and we need to get back to some core basics of respect, communication, and
And are we going to be in a traditional
the other thing
relationship
is-
or are we not?
And
We
the
gotta
other
make a
thing is
guideline.
when you lead, leaders create leaders, right? So if you're gonna
Right.
lead me, you're gonna pour into me, and we're gonna know what direction we're going in, because we gotta be able to be led. But if you don't know where we going and you
Right.
keep turning to me and say, should
Lead
I
me
turn
where?
left, derecha, izquierda, which way you want me to go?
What about are you willing to allow a man to
100%.
That's
Yeah,
the
100%.
Where we
But
go?
I think women like y'all
Where
are
we
few and
going?
far in between. A lot
Right,
of women are not doing that.
Because a man can say, hey, I want to go here, we're going here, and it's, well, why? What are we doing it for? What's this? What should I wear? Blah, 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 blah. And then if he tell you what, wear those the comfortable shoes right there.
I like to be dressed.
No,
I should
I don't have a problem with any of those things.
But
None
no,
of them.
you say that now. I'm saying it's
don't.
being asked.
I
And then
don't.
It's like,
If I feel
If I feel safe.
if I
And
feel
that's the
safe,
thing. If you bring
Because
somebody
you
to
can-
safety and you
yes,
have a
let
track
me
record
ask you a
of
question.
safe
Safe and
decisions.
protected.
What makes you feel safe?
And you have to have and let me say this, you have to have a decisive execution in what
Right.
you're telling somebody. See, a man coming home and say, babe, I'm gonna need you to be dressed at 8 and be outside, cause I wanna take you somewhere.
let's
Maybe
go.
I'll say, okay, is it
What
dressy
kind
or
of clothes
not?
should I wear? Yeah.
Don't worry.
Just so I know what to put on.
The response
But
you
I'm
can say
going.
is, don't worry about it, babe. You're beautiful anyway. Whatever you put on is right. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be there at 8. Now, when 8
Right.
come and the nigga don't come around until
Yeah.
10 o'clock the next
Then
morning,
it'll be a problem.
then it's a
Right.
problem.
So
because
next
you
time
didn't
we
leave.
say
but baby, we're not talking about that. Okay?
But
We
I'm just
talking
saying
about-
that's an
this day.
example.
Yeah,
of
Right.
we're
why-
talking
There
about
you go.
he's there on time.
Then
right?
you can leave.
Absolutely.
You
But,
to control.
but your question first was, after he said it was, well, what, blah, blah, blah.
What's
Man,
Hey,
well, I just
come-
want to know what you want me to put on. Because he could say, because I like
Or is he
dresses.
gonna have a dress
I'm
in
a
the
role
car?
play princess.
Is he
So
gonna
you can
pretty
say,
for
come
me
in
to
and
have
You want to be
dress
dressed
I
on
mean,
vacation.
Right, you
Yeah,
can tell me
that's
you coming
it.
at 8 and I might
I'm
come
not
down with a house coat and some thighs and
Right.
that's
It's not me questioning your authority and me questioning your ability to lead.
Mhm.
It's just me showing up for the occasion.
How many
Yeah,
times
wherever you
have
wanna
somebody told a male have told you guys, and how many times have you said to a woman, I have a surprise, and she go, what is it? Tell me what it is
Oh, I don't
before we
wanna
go.
know.
You want to know.
I don't
you
wanna
got
know.
it, and then drive her
I'm
to the
just
place.
now I might
where
call
we
her and
going.
be like, oh my God, he has a
Yeah, I
surprise.
like
What do you
surprise.
think it is? But I don't
So-
want to know. I would like to just, if you have a surprise, don't even tell me.
I like
Just
surprise.
pop it on me.
See, so I think
So I don't
I
have to
like
be all
glitter
anxious
and
wondering what
lingerie,
it is.
lingerie, I like all that.
See, but that
The lingerie.
the
Lingerie.
I think a lot of times the biggest issue is communication.
Key.
100%. I agree.
And I think
Submission.
everybody got to get.
Submission is the
Women
biggest
feel
part.
like that word is a cuss word.
But
It has
another
a-
thing
it
is,
has a-
now another thing I'm gonna tell y'all, we gonna move into some more of these hot topics.
Yes.
You shouldn't be, now this is queens and kings. Stop telling your not even defined as your girlfriend
Right,
to submit
and
to
that's the
you.
problem.
Your jump off, your side
Right.
piece, somebody you courting, not dating exclusively,
Right.
should not be submitted.
It
Yes,
shouldn't
they
be.
should.
No, they should not.
Yes, they
No.
should. You should be showing me what I'm expected
No,
to
no,
get
no.
once we
That,
decide
where
to make
did-
this thing
that ain't in
official.
the Bible nowhere.
So we're on. So we're in an
That ain't in the
interview.
Bible
Yeah,
nowhere.
100%. Okay.
No.
So are you.
Mhm.
You're on an interview as it's mute. The interview is mutual.
The interview is mutual.
It's
So,
a
so
mutual-
there's no reason to submit all. If I'm
No.
only supposed to submit to thine husband, why would I submit to thine stranger?
Okay, perfect. Let me ask you a question. Let's say if you're dealing on an interview, first date, second date, and you
Okay.
deal with a man you don't think can lead you one bit, are you gonna deal with him again?
No.
No.
Probably not. Exactly. So if I'm dealing with a woman,
100% no.
first date, second date, and I feel like, nah, she's a little too hard-headed for me. She's
Yeah.
not gonna be able to
Yeah.
submit for me, because traditionally a man is gonna be successful if he's able to be a man. If you got a woman that's gonna be knocking back too much, I'm not in my traditional role.
That's agreed.
No, that's
That's
agreed.
That's why I do believe the word shouldn't be so bad as oh submit.
It just has a bad connotation. It
I agree
definitely
with
does, and it's
I
been
agree with
used been used to describe controlling
Yes.
situations,
Yeah.
which is the
And,
discrepancy
and
because
yes,
it
because
doesn't.
it depends on
yeah.
what is. Yeah.
Submissive isn't a bad thing.
100%. It's not.
It's not, and it shouldn't, but it has been
Submissive
made
and
to be a
agreeable
very
is two
bad
different
thing.
things. You should
Right.
be agreeable. You should be supportive. You should be communicative. You should be
Right.
open to receive.
Absolutely.
But you shouldn't be adorning this person.
You
that
shouldn't be
has
like
nothing
you
in
shouldn't be
any
like the
real-
Coming to America
yeah.
girl
Right.
saying
You shouldn't be
whatever
jumping
you like.
like,
No, I agree with that.
What-
That's a
what
little
you- I don't
extreme.
know whatever you like.
I wouldn't mind
That
it, but
is
it's a little
what people think. No, that's what people think submissive is.
I wouldn't
Yeah, you
mind
should be
it.
spiritual.
You need to go to the Luna then and get you one of them girls.
But
You should do those things. Support, being
Yeah.
open-minded, being fun.
Yeah.
You know, those are things. Yes,
And-
I agree. That's agreeable to me.
And that's the
Right.
thing. The word submissive have become taken.
It's a
been taken
negative,
out of
it's a
context.
Still a great word though. Like you just has a bad.
It sounds great. It also sounds great when men
If
say
you
they
know
have
the meaning
multiple
of it.
wives, because they say it in the Quran. But the part they forget is the dowry part.
What has
that
to
when
go
you
into it.
commit to the wife,
Right.
you gotta get a dowry, which is a contract of the rules of engagement that says when you leave that wife, you have to give her a house valued at X. You gotta give her this amount of money,
And before you do
gotta
any of
have
that, you
money
gotta
set
pay
in
me.
escrow. That's what the
Right.
Quran said, and it also says say if you want to have multiple wives, you got to be able to
Take
pick
care of all
And
Yes,
have
them
separate
equally,
lives. That was
which is
Papa's
fine.
rule and stuff.
So that's the part people were missing. But now let's go back to the
So
hot topic.
now that we're talking about, now that we've opened up the floodgates, we might as well just roll right into the next hot topic. What's his name?
Derek Jackson.
Derek Jackson.
Now,
Shout out to that dude, man.
Shout out.
Somehow I just knew
Shout out to Derek
there
Jackson.
would be one fan in the room.
OG is
You
OG.
take over this
Y'all,
topic.
y'all
OnlyFans.
preface it what happened, and then we'll y'all
Yeah.
preface
Okay,
what
so
happened.
What's your version
Derek
of what
Jackson.
happened? What's your version of what happened?
Derek Jackson, unfortunately, sad to say,
And you're very sorry that this
I am.
happened to him. You're
100%.
so
I'm a,
supportive of the Derek Jackson
because
fund.
I'm gonna be a real. So with Derek Jackson, as everyone knows, he's one of these relationship coaches on Instagram
Right.
and social media,
Books.
telling women books,
Cards, I
whatnot.
got the playing cards.
Whatnot. He has playing cards also.
He got
Hey.
cards where you can, and I
Hey.
like the cards. You play
Hey.
the card game and you see
All I
if you know
gotta
your
say
base,
is
and
he
you play like
capitalized off
if
of
two
that.
people play, it's very
Millions
fun.
of dollars.
It's like match
Good dude. I guess.
memory.
I'm gonna hold my.
He
I'm
was
gonna hold my
very
comment.
convincing, I
Good
would say.
dude. Good dude. So
Yeah.
as we know, he's a relationship quote unquote guru, expert.
So you
Yeah.
agreed with his ideals
A lot of them.
previous to the
I did agree with a lot of
I'm gonna
them.
explain
No,
why.
did you personally?
100%. I'm
Okay.
gonna explain why.
Okay.
People have to be realistic about it. What I think Derek Jackson did, right? He is. You know how women may have a dude that's in the friend zone, right? That they may talk to about their relationship. Oh, yo.
The husband at work.
Exactly. Work husband,
He's
something like
usually a
that.
gay husband at work.
Oh,
the work husband?
Maybe. You know the work husband. So a
Your work-
lot of women have that dude that they confide in, man, such and such is pissing me off. Oh yeah, you don't need that nigga, leave that nigga.
Yeah.
I feel like Derek Jackson brought that to light. And we
So he was
all
that guy.
we all got a little Derek Jackson in us.
So
'Cause
now
I've
y'all
been that
like-
best friend in the friend zone waiting, yo, leave that nigga. As
As
soon
a
as he
matter
did
of
it, then
fact,
I'm
I
right.
seen him.
Matter of fact, he's right next to me with 4 girls with him. You know what I mean?
Screenshot
So
the
I
nigga.
feel like what he did, he should have, if he would have prefaced everything he said with "do as I say and not as I do," I think he would have been 100% right.
I
Okay.
agree with a lot of what Derek Jackson said. He brought a lot. I listened to some of the things, and I was like, ooh. And I like him. Who else is the guy, like the pastor that I listen to all the time?
Oh, I listened to him too. I don't remember his name.
Oh, he wrote
But he's
Queenology and
pretty good.
Kingology.
I don't think I'm familiar with him. I like Kevin Samuels. Y'all familiar with
That's
him?
my guy.
I don't like him.
Oh, my God.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
and I'm
is
sure
he the
nobody
man
would like
that-
Kevin Samuels make
I'm
me
sure
want to
nobody
vomit.
would like him. See,
I don't like
but
We're
him.
not even
but
gonna
see-
give him no. We ain't
but-
gonna give him time.
but
on
see,
this show.
Kevin Samuels needs to give the same advice to all these women that he gave to his 50-year-old mama that just got married.
Right.
And stop telling women they're not gonna meet who they want. Your mama
Because
did
they
it,
have
and she was
children.
single for years, and she raised your old ass. So please,
Well, see,
stop.
here's the thing, right?
Goddamn.
So, but here's the thing, right? I feel like we have to stop allowing people anywhere to get into our relationships and tell us what we should be doing, how we should be dealing with it.
Right.
Because what's happening is
Right.
you end up with somebody like DJ who
He's a good dude.
who coached you. I didn't watch a lot of him, but through this past couple of days is when I heard him. I'm like, who's Derek Jackson?
Right.
I was
That's how
watching
it.
him before.
Yeah.
So
I was familiar with
I got into what he was doing, and I'm like, damn, like he was literally telling women like, yo, you don't need, and oh, you know, this guy's doing this.
And if he's not doing this,
everything
then you
was
shouldn't be.
everything was exactly
Yeah.
what you said.
Yeah, I've done that.
Women.
He was like the
So you feel like he was
a-
telling men secrets?
act
No.
like a lady, think
Yes.
like a man.
That's
He
what
was.
I
He
know
was
what
telling
somebody
men
feels.
secrets.
So you feel like he was telling men secrets?
100%.
And he
100%.
did
There's nothing
he
wrong with
break
that.
the bro code?
He did kind of break the bro
Somewhat.
code
He
in a
broke
way.
the bro
Somewhat.
code.
But
Okay.
he was.
That's-
I
that's
do think
what
when he
we
was
got.
saying
Okay.
R.C. Blake.
Were you
is the
mad at him
pastor
for
that I
breaking the
like.
bro code?
And he's a strong pastor.
No, I wasn't.
You weren't
because
mad at him
he
for doing
showed everybody who he really is, and he's no different than anybody else.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
But
He's
you don't
human.
feel like, okay, so the little discrepancy that you just said about him not saying, because he actually did do that. He did actually portray to be one particular person
did.
and turn out to be somebody else
Yes.
in the end.
And he
So
capitalized
the
on
thing
all
that could
y'all
have
women
saved
out
him,
there.
but the thing that could have saved him from that is if he would have said, "Do as I say, not as I do."
100%.
If he would have just said,
Yeah.
"I'm giving you the bro code, but don't hold me to that."
Right.
Exactly.
So if he would have did think like a man,
Act like
act
a lady.
like a lady,
Yes.
we wouldn't be.
But in
mad.
the same
People would be
token,
mad,
but
because
in
I'm
the
not telling you I'm perfect and then showing you I'm not.
But in
Right.
the same
I'm telling
token,
you, I'm
I
not
feel like
perfect.
But you still feel
Follow
bad
by
for
this.
him because he just got caught up in
I
a
do
bunch
feel
of
bad
stuff.
for him because again he's a public personality. All the stuff, all the shit that he saying it attracts women to listen to him, and I know if in his
And they was
DMs or
throwing
whatever,
panties up
they were
there.
throwing it out.
But
He
they
got
do-
weak to the flesh, and I really.
But they
sorry
need to
for
not
him.
throw
I really-
out, you know what I'm saying, the message.
Well,
Some of the
he
things,
did nothing happen to
Listen,
him.
the
man.
things that he
Y'all
said,
y'all
like,
heard him
didn't
practice
even-
with your
Because
feet.
now
He
people
lose
turn
money.
no,
it
his
down.
followers is gonna leave him. He's gonna
Yeah,
be
the book
financially,
deal's gonna
there's
mess him
gonna be
up.
problems
Yeah,
financially
that
for
probably
him,
will.
that problem. But I feel like this is like any other pastor. We had Eddie Long, we went
Kirk
through a
Franklin just
lot.
recently cursed
I
his
just
son out.
said, yeah, I'm like,
You
Kurt
heard
Franklin went
You heard
there.
that?
He was a
Yeah.
sex addict at
And we
first.
should
That's where it
not-
all started.
I forgot about
Remember,
that.
that's where
I
it
forgot
started.
about
He
that.
was a
That's
sex addict.
We should not idolize
Right.
anybody. I do
Admit it.
think we shouldn't
That
throw
part.
out
Yeah.
the water for the well. We shouldn't, what he said, I agree with a lot of things he said. Doesn't mean that he should just be, cast out.
No.
But
he gave out some
he's a
valuable
hypocrite.
information.
He gave out good information.
He
and
did.
it was honest
Well,
and
I
factual
think he
stuff.
gave out his opinion of what he felt,
Well,
what
he
men
should've-
do from what he
He
do.
should have said, I'm not a
Yeah, but
professional.
What he does. You know what
Nah,
I'm
he
saying?
gave it out like
No,
he
no,
he
he's a
broke it.
professional.
Well, he is, but
He
a
profe-
professional
He a
act.
professional ass cheater because that's what he
Yeah.
ended up doing. So he showed
Exactly.
y'all exactly
Well,
what
that's
men
the
do from what he
thing.
feel.
Right.
And I feel
So-
sorry. Do you feel sorry for his wife?
For the wife, nah.
No,
She-
you know he
of
doesn't
course
feel
not.
sorry for him.
Well, I feel sorry for her. For what? For what?
You're
No,
throwing out sympathy, so I thought maybe you had a little bit
Only
for the wife.
because, again, she's with a public person.
Because
She
she
has to
expected.
expect that happens. I think so. I don't think they should have done that stupid ass live. That
That-
That
That's
was
what
she
we're
was
doing.
that
For
she
me to
was
watch.
she was a hostage.
Yeah,
I was like, is
yeah.
he gonna?
Did she look like she
rip
was
her-
on
she
a
looked like she
girlfriend or
wanted to be
something?
there,
She
yeah.
was
She
looking like.
recently just put her own video out.
Did she take the bonnet
Was
off?
her bonnet off? Or
No,
just kept
she
it
had
on?
the bonnet on and an army fatigue shirt on.
Lord
She changed
Jesus,
the
take
shit.
the
It
bonnet off. Go
affected
get you a
By herself,
hairdo.
yeah.
You're a beautiful
I don't
woman.
really
Just
feel
come
sorry
on now.
for her.
Don't be like that.
She gotta accept
Hey,
that and
man,
move on.
you know.
So I mean, I back to the video though. I'm not gonna get over this.
Yeah.
I just felt it was staged on his part. She was upright, very, very sitting still. Give
And
me your
death
hand.
grip. I'm about to say,
And
don't
the death
forget- don't forget the
kung
death grip.
fu. I mean, it was like this, and then he's and my
And she was
wife,
like,
and she was just like,
she was
I-
like on a sedative. She was like,
something was wrong. It was almost like
But then she did
Melania.
come out. She was like,
when-
and I left him. Don't think I didn't leave him. I'm
And
like,
I would, no
okay,
matter how many
take the
times he
bonnet off.
called,
I know, right?
I'm like, well, where did you go?
Yeah.
Cause you're back in the house now.
Well, she said that
She
he
should've
prayed
left him.
and God had
You don't
to
think she should've
show
left
him.
She needed to take her time. She needed to
Take
take
your time
some
for
time.
what? You know, you've been with this man. You don't think this man's gonna cheat on you?
Listen,
I just don't believe. It's hard for me to believe that. It's hard for me
You
to
are a
believe
mess.
that.
You a mess over here.
It's just hard for me to believe that.
I
You
don't
were
know,
a public
maybe,
person.
maybe he sold it shit to her just the same way he sold it to all the
yeah,
other
of
women.
course he did.
Because if she's sitting there watching him do these live, matter of fact, first off, when did they have time for each other? When he's on the damn camera the whole damn
24
time
hours
talking
a
to
day.
all these other
At
women.
the gym.
She ain't
In
had
the
no
park.
Everywhere
idea.
he's at.
The niggas
Always
in
in
the
his car,
car, excuse
always
my
in his
language,
car.
but he
He's in the car, yeah.
all the time, and she's where? Was she ever in the car with him? I'm just asking.
Sometimes
I never
can't-
seen. I didn't even know
I've
they
never
were
seen
married.
her before. Yeah, I was gonna say
I
I didn't
seen
know
the
he was
wedding
married.
pictures. I saw the
I didn't
wedding
know they were
pictures.
married.
Then I
So,
didn't follow
so
too
now,
much.
as we always do, we're running for time, so we're gonna run through the rest of our
Okay.
hot topics because
So
we
we-
veered off as we normally do.
I feel like we did all the spicy stuff.
We definitely talked about some of the spice stuff. I'm like, what else
Yeah.
happened? So we have the
The
storms
storms
coming
are coming through
Right.
Louisiana,
Oh,
Arkansas,
through tomorrow.
Alabama,
Georgia.
Mississippi,
Okay.
and Louisiana,
Alabama, Mississippi,
Arkansas.
Arkansas, and Georgia here, Atlanta. So we might have tornadoes.
So just go back into pandemic mode. Don't get crazy and buy all the
Well,
toilet paper and stuff like that. But at least get you some food in your house. You know, just get prepared. Just and get some batteries, some candles. Grown ass man candle would be preferably. And just get
Water.
yourself some water
Water.
together. Yeah.
perishable,
Dry,
non-perishable,
non-perishable
all that,
food.
yeah.
canned goods. Just
Yeah.
be ready. You know, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. What are
Right.
your thoughts on the vaccine, guys?
Hell.
Are there any thoughts on that? Do you feel sorry for the people?
I don't feel like I want to take it because I don't know what the outcome may be. I barely do flu shots, so
Okay.
I probably won't be one of them taking this vaccine.
That's a Jersey answer.
Yeah.
No, that's a New York answer
Jersey.
too. We've
Yeah.
we've established this
Yeah.
already.
Black
Yes,
Widow and stuff, you know.
I feel
What
like
about
I don't want to turn into a zombie.
I'm not
Yeah.
taking that shit. I mean, to be
Okay.
honest with you, because like you know,
Unanimous.
traditionally what we've
This
seen
is a first. We've
Yeah.
all agreed on something.
Traditionally,
Guys.
vaccines trials should take up to 10 years, right?
Right.
You give them, you got to check the effects of what it's going to do with women, men, people with
Children.
predisposed conditions.
Right.
And it's going to affect somebody with heart disease different than cholesterol, things
But
like
the
that.
thing is,
And they pushed it out, and too soon for me.
But even after you take it, you still possibly can get this.
Yeah, it's
Correct.
not-
You can get it
Also
and you
give
can
it to
infect other people.
because
Exactly.
it lays dormant in your respiratory system.
And you
it
still gotta wear
attaches
your
to
mask.
organs.
So don't
So
be
what
running
happens
around.
is that now it's in there just chilling, and then you sneeze.
To me, it sounds like
Next to me.
To me, it sounds like they're offering the birth control, but you can still get pregnant.
Yeah.
To me, it doesn't make no
There's
sense.
like an 80% shit. You
Exactly.
might not.
That's what it sounds
It's
like
like
to me.
chickenpox and shingles.
Right.
You get chickenpox, 50, you gotta get the shingle shot. We don't know what's
Right.
gonna happen. I'm not taking it.
I'd rather wait for that.
And
herd
then I
immunity
feel like the
they
other
said.
thing that back to what you said about the actual trials of and the what goes into a vaccine, the variant that they give you in the vaccine is not one of the mutated variants that's about to come to us.
And it's on the rise.
Yeah,
So
right,
the thing about it is that when you can't predict the future, you can't make that mutated variant because you don't know what it's going to be. So you still may not even be protected from that. So now we all had COVID-19, but we about to get COVID-96 and we ain't got no vaccine for that. So we might as well
21,
just
22, 23.
I
Right.
feel like it's gonna be like the flu. Every year there's gonna be a new variant. There's gonna have to be a new shot
Right.
every year to keep up with. I've never gotten a flu shot. I'm not getting that
So
vaccine.
you
I'm not
agree with
getting
it.
that. So it's negative
Right.
on the
It's a negative.
But they're out
Unanimous-
there.
It's a unanimous negative. I know
Over
people
here.
that have gotten it. They haven't turned into gremlins yet. Hopefully they don't.
And it's readily available, and now it's available even for kids.
Have fun.
So what do you feel about the immigrants? All the 17,000 kids that are in the camps with
Yeah.
coming across
That they're
the
trying to
border.
find somewhere for them to go and.
I think it's very, very sad. But my views on like immigration and stuff like that, the U.S. is a very, very rich country.
Look who's taking over the show. What?
I'm very
I'm
opinionated.
trying to
The
tell you.
white
Oh my
person.
goodness, we was how we
Very,
changed.
very
Yeah.
opinionated. The music that
That's
he got that.
wonderful.
Yeah, you
You
got
like,
great
girl, I'm
business.
happy this
Yeah.
man.
The talking about topics, yeah, we
Yeah,
Very happy
this
to
is
see
this
this.
is how
Great
this is
It's
why
like
we
us,
mesh.
right? Like there's
Yeah.
some things I'll just be like, yeah.
Now this
So
is
that's
Kimber.
why we
Kimber,
that's-
what do you think about the kids?
See, and when I'm here, this is how we mesh. Because Miss E normally is back and forth with him about they go back at it.
Right.
And I'm listening and see when it comes up to music and stuff like that. That's
Shalane.
And he's an artist.
You
So that
drive.
comes natural for him.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
you know,
nice.
I could come up with questions for the art for anybody coming. He got questions and it's like
He got rebuttal.
It just
For
helps.
days.
Yeah,
And
it's
he has
like
a
they bounce-
firm
Okay.
opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
So we sat in the
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right?
It really
It kind of
Yeah.
works.
I couldn't have done that. I couldn't have been doing what I'm doing right now on the Weekend Bullshit Report without him and Miss E because they balance
That's
the show
wonderful.
so
The
much.
weekend bullshit report.
Right.
We're gonna have to get invited to the weekend bullshit
Yeah,
report.
Are we invited?
Yeah,
Is this a
definitely.
formal invitation?
100%.
Definitely.
So the kids, I think that the kids, immigration reform is coming.
Right.
We should be
This is the
prepared.
preface to that.
We should look up because now Kamala is handling this.
Yeah.
She is
He
partnering
gave her the
with-
reins.
He
on
gave her the
whole
reins. She's working together with Central America,
Right.
Southern America,
Mexico City,
Mexico,
Guatemala.
South America and Central, and Northern America,
Right.
and all the borders. So we even going to go to Canada, and people should just Google North American Treaty again and start looking at the initiatives that
Well, this is
Clinton
something
had
they've been
out.
talking about for
Years
years
ago.
that was supposed to happen that never quite made it. And then, the last 4 years have just been utter chaos. So it definitely didn't have any, and there was no direction, and I guess it just didn't have a chance.
Oh, the energy changed.
But I feel like, yeah, absolutely. And
But the
there's no
kids, they're
stopping
letting
them
the
from
kids
coming.
in.
They
Right.
need to.
Yeah, they need
That was a
to.
horrible
Yeah.
visual by the previous administration.
Well, there's no
Those
reason why they
kids
shouldn't,
in
yeah.
cages.
Right.
And
That
And
was,
separated from their
And
parents.
separated from them
Yeah.
in cages.
That was
a-
deplorable.
that was,
That was
yeah.
horrible. I think in America, it's a very, very rich country, right?
Right.
This is people really trying to run here to achieve that American dream. So what if we letting people across the border? So
And
what
then
if
you
they do something
utilize
wrong?
those
Then you
people
then
once
you-
they get here is the
There's-
craziest thing.
There's so many what they call them blue collar jobs that a lot
Right.
of Americans don't want, but immigrants they would love that.
The
Yeah.
farming jobs,
The
the
farming
horticulture
jobs,
jobs,
exactly.
the weed that everybody wants to grow.
Carpentry.
Somebody gotta go out there and get
I
this
saw the other
TV
day
and
they had I don't remember I just happened to catch this. They had a strawberry field. And you know how the strawberries come in a little that they literally had they were picking the strawberries and they were putting them in the cages right then and there and running them across the thing and I'm like, who would do that?
Exactly.
None of us.
No, I
The
mean
mar-
it's
the
hot
migrants.
outside. The straw is there was
You
and
getting
I,
on the roof?
I probably wouldn't.
I'm
No,
not
I
getting
ain't
on the
getting on
roof.
no. And you're not gonna have it done in a day. I mean,
No.
And the
from
migrants,
7 in the
because
morning till 7 at night. You're not
a lot
gonna
of
do
the
that.
migrants,
Eat
they
your
know
lunch
they're
up there.
escaping from their country, so they
Yeah.
love these
They
jobs.
get busy.
That's
So
part
now,
of the
so now
American
let's
culture.
talk about the hate. Because we invited people from other countries and the immigrants and the migrants in, and we're here bringing them in to the climate of Black Lives Matter, and now
Right.
Asian people
Asian
matter, because we had the shooting here in Atlanta with the Asians under attack, and I even was in Publix. I thought the dude was gonna shoot me. He was like walking with his gun.
Right.
I'm like, dude, I ain't got nothing to do with them people that I'm
And I'm
saying.
probably gonna sound like you when I have this conversation about I understand everybody does feel a way when somebody or something is targeted towards their particular demographic. We'll put it that way. I do have an opinion when it comes to this, and I don't feel like Asian lives don't matter, but I would like to know. So now they're looking for support from us.
And they raised, like you said,
They
$2
raised
million.
$2 million on GoFundMe for 2 children who lost their parents.
Yeah.
Okay, Asians have money, so maybe they gave to, I don't know how that happened. It's fine, I don't have a problem with that either. But I do feel like it's very coincidental that we had the same struggle for the past however long we've had, and I don't recall there being one Asian advocate out there. Didn't see them in any of the pictures.
Yeah.
I didn't hear them. Sandra Oh didn't come out and say anything about us. I do see places to eat, on every corner, a nail shop, the beauty industry, all in demographically strategic locations to monopolize off of
Our community.
our community and our dollars.
I-
Yet I didn't see them out there,
You
so
know-
I feel like I don't discredit what they're doing, and they need to fight
You
for
know the
whatever.
thing-
And they've never, to me, and this is again I am not a professional, it's my opinion, have never, they're not white and we know that, but they're
Yeah.
definitely not minorities in their eyes.
I see.
So I don't feel like they should be expecting
See,
anything.
our community is the only community that supports everybody else. We want everybody to just live. We against ourselves more than anything, right? But for some reason, we don't get that in return.
We don't get that same energy back.
You know?
But we
And that's
did
what-
see some people come out that were,
Oh,
there
no.
were, during this past Black Lives Matter,
Yeah, we did
there
have-
were a lot of
Yeah.
unexpected people that did come out. I was shocked by the droves of people that came out and actually did support, and for the one time in my history, I felt like people really meant it, and they really were like, okay, now it was a tragic thing that they saw, and more people were home because